All right. So continuing on, the next concept is like, okay, imagine you are trying to set up a team at your masjid, at your local community center or school or university, wherever you are. So here are some structure that you can put in place. So the way we would suggest doing that is first and foremost is to the approach of contact exchange. Okay, so that's where it starts. Right. So if you have a support mentality, what you would do is, Assalamu alaikum, welcome. Here's my contact. Here's the contact for the team. If you need anything, call us. That's the support mentality. Okay. If you have success mentality, you will try to get their contact information, ideally a phone number or an email. You would ask them what's the best way to contact them. Okay, that's a success mentality. And even if you look at our nonprofit organizations or masajids and in different places, right, most people would ask you to register for the event or for the program. I mean, we did the same thing. For those attending live, we have a registration for this program. This helps us, let you know of more programs. This helps us to send you reminders and so on and so forth. We could have just put a link and then, forget about it. May Allah reward the team and Sister Samia and the others who work behind the scenes to make this happen, because this helps to remind, to make it more successful. Otherwise, people forget, different things happen. So that's the first thing. And this is a common mistake that I have seen a lot in my, experience here. And that is, if someone comes in, let's say, so if whoever is your source of information, so sometime, as I said here, sometime it could be the imam or the management, right? So for example, if you're working with a masjid, you may not be a full-time staff, but there may be, admin assistant, or there may be an imam, or there may be other people who are full-time in there. And they may have people coming in, taking shahada or calling in and so on and so forth. Now, obviously they have other responsibilities and they may not be trained or they may not have the time to work with new Muslims. So what they would do typically is they would say, hey, you know what, here's the contact information for our team. Please go ahead and contact them. Now, what we are suggesting and we are really emphasizing here is that train them to get their contact information and tell them that, you know what, our team will contact you. We have a team of brothers and sisters who do this work. They will contact you. Boom. So that's how it should be. They should pass on the contact to you, whether they email it to you or the dawah team or the new Muslim mentoring team has a form. One way or the other, the contact should be coming in. You should not be just waiting on that. So the other resources could be street dawah team. Some people who are licensed marriage officers, they come across a lot of converts as well. So, talking to them, establishing relationship with them so they can pass on the contacts to you. Okay. The other option is obviously let your community know that you have a team. The masjid people, they come across many people, and so they will bring the people to the right resources and the right sources. Conferences are other venues and so on and so forth. Okay. So the next thing here, of some of the mistakes that happen, again, some people have the mentality that, okay, you know what, we will just, get the converts together and that's it. That's all we need to do. Again, that's a very, naive way of thinking. And one of the things that, if you know my work, one of the things that I really focus on is for Muslims, especially the practicing one, especially those involved in dawah, to be critical thinkers, to not be naive and think what's happening, ask questions, look at the results, just not be like, okay, a converts for converts sort of mentality. That does not necessarily work. Not every convert has the same mindset. Not every convert has the same background. Not every convert has a same age group or sophistication level. So, it's not just that, okay, you're a convert, he's a convert, boom, you will get along. It doesn't work like that. Okay, so that's one thing to be aware of. You have to have you should try do your best to introduce them to the community, people who are like-minded, people who are, well-rounded and, understand converse. So those should be your priorities that you will, introduce them to. I'll give you some more examples on that topic in a second. Okay, social events, another common thing. Some people right off the bat, oh, we're just going to have a converts dinner. So you can do that. You can try it. I'm just giving you from our experience, right? Sometimes you may invest a lot of time just creating a convert dinner or a lunch. And then what happens is that not many people show up and you've spent a lot of time and resources on that. How about you think about integration? How about, you think about inviting converts to the events that are happening in the community anyways, right? Many community have different events happening, halal food festival, masjid barbecue, masjid picnic, many events that are happening. So, facilitate for them to come. If they're having financial issues, buy them a free ticket, for example, invite them, so they don't have to think about, okay, I have to buy, it makes it easier for them. Obviously, if there are people who are not comfortable coming to the masjid, you can then, take them out for coffee, take them out for a, intimate, like small group of converts to a lunch, or bring them to your home and whatnot. Those type of things you can do, and the team or the masjid should be able to fund that if you have a lack of funds there. However, but this general approach of like, we need to have converts only approach, I don't think that's the way to go. We need to have people to have different connections within the community and be integrated in the community. So the third point here is to educate the general masses. Okay, and that's one of the things we do. One good time to do that is what I try to do now, is when there's a shahada that's happening at the masjid and whatnot, instead of just doing a shahada and like, all your sins are forgiven and all that sort of stuff, use that opportunity to encourage the community to do two things. One is to learn how to give dawah, to have conversations within their networks, and to initiate a conversation and then bring them to you for further support if needed. The second thing you can also do is to educate the community that, look, you may see a new Muslim coming, a brother or sister, okay? Now, they may be doing something that's against the Sharia, okay? Maybe their clothing is not proper, maybe they're not doing ruku properly, and so on and so forth. Now, you would think, oh, I'm doing Amr bil Ma'ruf wa Nahi anil Munkar, I'm going to go correct that person, I will get a lot of reward. Okay, that's true, right? But again, going back to the point, let's not be naive, let's be sophisticated. One of the principles of Islam in anything is that the action you do should cause greater benefit. It should not cause a greater harm. 1 second, I need to admin someone. There you go. Yeah, so it should cause more benefit than harm. So that's one of the things that you need to think about. So sometimes what happens is, if you just approach someone, you have no rapport with them, and they don't know you, and you just go and approach them and you correct them. Many times people now become, very hesitant to come to the masjid. They're like, oh, everybody's watching me, I don't know what I'm doing. People are just coming to correct me, and so on and so forth, right? So you don't want to do that. So what you want to do then is, if you see a new face, if you see someone, it's clear that they don't know what they're doing, just welcome. They say, you look new, a new face, how's everything? Build some rapport. Ask them, are they connected? Tell them about the program they may have, that, you look new. Are you familiar with Islam? We have a team that helps newcomers, and so on and so forth. Would you like me to connect you to them? Can I have your contact information? So that would be one way. Or if you have that rapport, you can ask them, you know what? Everybody has to start somewhere. I noticed some things that you can improve on. First of all, I really appreciate you coming and, learning and not. So I have noticed a few things. Do you mind me showing it to you? Right? So you have to be very careful that you just don't go and start correcting people. There's a video that I have linked there in these slides. This is like a longer 20-25 minutes video that talks about different things that the community members do that kind of drive the converts or the newcomers away. So, you can check it out, and then you can, educate your community as well. Another common mistake that I see people doing is, oh, here's a new convert. Brilliant. Let me add you to a group. Okay. What group, right? So remember we talked about last time, do you know how motivated the person is, right? I mean, if there's like 30 messages going on in that group, and they are discussing, from politics to Islam to this to that, is this something your new Muslim is ready for? Right? And if it's an open group, if the new Muslim drops in something that may offend someone, are people able to handle it gently? So be careful. Just don't drop them into the seed, which may, be a fitna for them, or be a fitna for other people. So be wary of that as well, on, which kind of WhatsApp group you are dropping them into. Who are the participants? Is there some sort of an understanding on the number of messages, the type of content, and so on and so forth? I'll give you one simple example, right? And this is an extreme example, but just a point. So there was a convert sister who was put into a group, and many people did, are not great at using WhatsApp. What happens? The message comes in. Oh, great message. Sometimes people don't even watch the video. Click forward, and then they forward into all the groups they're on, right? So what happens similarly, you know, there's a sister, she announced on the group, a convert sister, she announced on a group that, you know, her father, I think her father had passed away, right? And then, you know, obviously people sometimes don't even read what's going on. It just becomes a forward messaging group. And then nobody responded to that. And then, you know, a few minutes later, someone drops in a video in that group, you know, the punishment of the grave. Okay. So, you know, so be careful about, like, you know, which groups you're throwing them into, what sort of mentality of the group members are, and so on and so forth. And, you know, how resilient the convert is, you know, so just use your wisdom, you know, just don't rush into doing things, because sometimes we do things with good intention, but they have bad results. Okay, so here's a structure of a revert team that we can talk about. Let me just break it into a new clip.